everyone, it's Nick here with Nick's hard rock CD album review. Hope everyone's doing okay. The album we're going to look at today is Bon Jovi's second album, called 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, and this was released in March of 1985. I'll just read out the songs of this album. We've got In and Out of Love, The Price of Love, Only Lonely, King of the Mountain, Silent Night, Tokyo Road, The Hardest Part is the Night, Always Run to You, To the Fire, and Secret Dreams. And here's a photo of a very young John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. Yeah, they're just babies back then, really. Here's a shot of the band, the whole band. So while we've got them here, we've got Alec John Such, bass player. He's partly hidden there, but David Bryan, the keyboardist. John Bon Jovi, lead vocals, and Richie Sambora, guitars. There's a better photo of them here. This is a photo taken of a live performance. So it's Dave Bryan keyboards, Tico Toro's drums, John Bon Jovi keyboards, and John Bon Jovi lead vocals, and Richie Sambora guitar. And the photo's missing the bass player, Alec John Such, but he was part of the band. Yeah, so this was, as I said, this was their second album, and it actually did. I mean, it did quite well. It did reasonably well for a band that was up and coming. You know, well, of course, we all know the history of Bon Jovi and, well, you know, how they just achieved such massive, huge success. And you know, a couple of that they've released. How many singles? 1, 2, 3, 4 singles. Only Lonely, In and Out of Love, Hardest Part is the Night, which didn't actually chart anywhere in the charts, but they released it as a single. Hardest Part is the Night, and also Silent Night. Silent Night's a bit of a ballad type song, but here's another live shot there. The guys on stage, and there's a live shot of John Bon Jovi in full flight. You can really see the fashion there, and here's another one actually. So there's quite a lot of photos here. There's another one of John Bon Jovi. But in regards to this album, it reached number 28 here in Australia, number 6 on the Finland charts, number 40 German charts, number 5 on the Japanese charts, number 48 on the New Zealand charts, 10 on the Swedish charts, went 28 in the UK, and number 37 on the US charts. So it was a reasonable follow up to their first album, and yeah, I mean, with Bon Jovi, you know, obviously, well, back then and still to this day, it was very melodic, and as I've said before, Bon Jovi were very safe. They're a very safe band. That they didn't cause any controversy. Their songs were easy to listen to, and they weren't controversial like, say, Guns N' Roses or even Motley Crue to a degree. It was always very safe music, and that's probably what helped them achieve such massive success. That they appealed to the to all varieties of people. But I actually read that Bon Jovi and especially John Bon Jovi, that they weren't satisfied with this album. You know, even to this day, that they look back on this album and that they don't really. It's sort of disregarded. They disregard this album because apparently the band was going through a lot of. They go through personal issues with breakups with girlfriends or wives and stuff like that. And of course, there was a lot of pressure put on them back then because they just released their first album. This was the second album, so they're under a lot of pressure. And apparently, this album was released, literally 9 months after their first album. So it was a sort of rushed in a way because they obviously would have toured after the first album, and then they were just immediately thrown into the studio and had to come up with another album. So I think all of that accumulated together, tiredness of being on the road, personal issues, relationship breakups, and all of that maybe contributed to the fact that they didn't really like this album too much. So anyway, that's their decision. It's a good album. I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's a good album, but their best was still yet to come. And obviously, the next album after this one, Slippery When Wet, was when Bon Jovi became a massive, huge success. And I will obviously. I'll do a review on Slippery When Wet because that is one of the most iconic albums, of the 80s, and also for Bon Jovi as well. That's what made Bon Jovi. But we won't talk about Slippery When Wet. We're on this album here. So, look, it did quite reasonably in the charts. It really did. And, it went platinum in Canada, platinum album sales in Canada. It reached silver status in the UK, which is 60,000 albums plus sold, and it reached platinum sales, 1 million plus platinum sales in America. So it did reasonably enough. But as I said, the best was yet to come for Bon Jovi. So this album plus their first album was a good lead up to the huge attention that they were going to receive in a couple of years and more to come. But look, my favourite tracks off this album would have to be In and Out of Love, Price of Love, Only Lonely. That's it's got a bit of a ballad feel to it. Hardest Part of the Night and Secret Dreams. Secret Dreams got a nice little keyboard riff running through it, but look, as I said before, Bon Jovi, very melodic band. We all know that, and they're an easily likable band. And as I've said before, these guys I hold dear to my heart because this band introduced me to the hard rock music. So I know I may go on about it, but it means a lot to me, especially Bon Jovi, because this is what introduced me to the full range of music that I've got. So yeah, but look, it's a solid album from the guys. Second album, and look, I would give this album a 7 out of 10. It's a decent album, but it's actually quite. If you think about it, these guys, obviously, whilst they were doing this album, they had no idea that the huge, massive, monster success that was about to change their lives, which it was. Slippery When Wet and New Jersey, the two albums that were to follow, would make them just absolute superstars and household names. So it's funny to think that the guys here had no idea what was in store for them. But no, hats off to Bon Jovi. They've survived the test of time and they're still going to this day. So they have a new album coming out. It's either this year, I don't know whether it's going to be this year or next year, probably next year. Things going the way they're going. But yeah, so that's fantastic that they're still going to this day. It's great. Anyway, Bon Jovi, their second album, 7 out of 10, this album. So until then, I hope everyone is doing well. And there we go, there's the guys again, back in their glory days. yeah, so thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope everyone's doing okay and taking care of yourselves and your loved ones. And I will see you next time with, I can guarantee the next album I'm going to do is Faster Pussycat. And I'll be wearing my Faster Pussycat t-shirt. So that's the next album I'm going to be doing. So thank you again. Bye bye.